Hello Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ Marino and we have a review today. As part of my TIFF 2021 coverage, I'm going to be talking about the movie The Guilty. For years now, director Antoine Fuqua has had a grip on the film community. I've actually enjoyed most of his movies. Even if they're not one of my favorites like The Magnificent Seven, he still has a way of crafting stories about people who aren't either the most likable or in some very intense situations and really makes it easy to digest as a viewer. Then you throw in an actor I very much admire like Jake Gyllenhaal, and this is a perfect combo. Fuqua and Gyllenhaal really add something to The Guilty. There's a lot of this movie that I didn't think I would enjoy. It's a little bit pro-cop at times, which isn't the worst thing ever, but sometimes it's a bit on the nose. It's also a pretty bottle episode type of movie where there's only one major setting and we rarely get glimpses outside of it. Those are things that kind of make me nervous, but the way The Guilty was handled, it made it to be actually one of my favorite things I've seen at TIFF this year. I was pretty surprised by the level of intensity that Gyllenhaal was able to carry throughout the film. It's kind of hard to just be the one singular focus on a movie, and he does it well. I don't know many actors who could have had this type of role and really nailed it to the level that he has. Like the way he acts in this film is mind-blowing. It's not the most like outstanding performance I've ever seen, but the circumstances around it, the character, the situation, the setting, it's a lot to deal with, and Gyllenhaal does great, but under the direction of Antoine Fuqua, I can see why. This isn't as gritty or real as something like Training Day, but there's still something very enjoyable about The Guilty. Gyllenhaal stars as Joe, a man working inside of a call center who has a bit of a shaky history in his job. He needs some help mentally, he's a bit sick physically, there's a lot going on with his character, and then a woman named Emily calls and that changes his life completely. She is what he presumes to be kidnapped, so this sends him down a path and a journey. The people around him are like, bro, what is happening? You are going crazy over this case. We figure out why he's so invested. We figure out what's happening, but from the very jump, you're kind of like concerned for this situation and for Gyllenhaal's character. He made it very easy to sympathize with his character. He made it very easy for me to understand Joe, for me to be like, okay, you are going a little bit crazy. You're at an 11. And I see why, I understand it, the layers to this performance and what he has to deal with. What I also liked is we got to see some pretty great names that get to call into the film. Ethan Hawke, Paul Dano, and I was just like, wow, this is pretty good voice acting to add to the Gyllenhaal performance. Fuqua really saw what was happening at TIFF with a lot of these big Hollywood type of productions, and when there was Dune screening here in person, not for us virtual people, but yeah, we had things like Dune, Dear Evan Hansen, the Tammy Faye movie, these bigger, more awards contender, and I think Fuqua really had something great with Guilty here that just kind of slips in as something a bit more low scale, but at the same time felt big and impactful. This is how you tell a small story, but make it feel larger than life. It also helps that this is a remake of a film, and that's always a little bit easier to deal with when it's like remaking something from a foreign country that has a more intense style of filmmaking, and then to adapt it to America. I actually want to see the original Guilty because it seems to be a great premise with a lot going on for it. I really enjoyed the most of this film. Again, it does get a bit tedious at times. The middle section, I was kind of like, okay, I just want to know what the big crazy ending is because what's happening here. But for the most part, I enjoy The Guilty. Out of a lot of my TIFF stuff, this might rank up pretty high for me. Looking back at TIFF 2021, I'm sure people are going to be talking about things like Dune, Dear Evan Hansen, all these big, crazy Hollywood productions, but Netflix has a fun little feature here with The Guilty. This is something that I would suggest if you're a big fan of cop dramas, this could be it. If you like intense thrillers, this could be a good watch. If you like Jake Gyllenhaal acting, like giving his most, this is it for you. Like, this is a worthwhile viewing. This definitely feels a bit Netflix for sure, and that's only slightly shady. That's like saying, look, I like it, it's just small scale, it wouldn't have played well on a big screen, but at home with Netflix, this is going to find a big market. When this is in like the top 10 trending on Netflix for like 3 weeks, you'll see why once you see it. It's a worthwhile film with a good performance, good directing, and a really solid premise, a really enjoyable film The Guilty is. Alright everyone, that was it for my review of The Guilty. I had a good time reviewing it, I had a good time watching it. I hope you do too. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Subscribe to Flickering Myth because we make videos like this every single week, and give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Alright everyone, let's talk about The Guilty, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Antoine Fuqua down below.